Hello duelists, welcome back to the TierZero Games channel. It is Jesse Cotton, and I want to talk about a brand new card coming out soon in Maze of the Masters. We've known for a while that we're going to be getting 7th Tachyon in this set, and it's been a huge support card for YuGiOh in the OCG. But here YuGiOh has still done well, and we may wonder, how important is 7th Tachyon? Well, I think it is a lot more important than people realize. I myself was a doubter when I first read the card, kind of thinking it was just meh, but the more I've given this card a closer look, it seemed to be quite powerful, and not just in YuGiOh, and a powerful searcher for many decks that could come out in the future. Now, before we get into the discussion of the card itself, if you're interested in getting your own copies, as well as any other pre-orders from Maze of the Master, just a reminder that you can get your singles and pre-sales at the best price from TierZero Games. You check the description box below to get a link to the site, as well as the best spot to pre-order the new set. And if you use the code Jesse5, you will get 5% off on your entire order. For those who aren't familiar, it is a normal spell card that says you can reveal one number XYZ in your extra deck. That is a number between 101 and 107. Then add one monster with the same type and or attribute, as well as the same level as the rank of the monster revealed from your deck to your hand. Then you place one card in your hand on top of your deck. Then for the rest of the turn, you are locked into XYZ summoning from the extra deck. So at first glance, this may seem strong because it's a search card, and search cards are historically very powerful. You know, you can get a lot of different cards, and many different XYZ monsters exist in the niche of 101 to 107. In fact, I think it's 14, which gives you a wide variety of targets depending on the deck you need. However, is this card actually good? And that's where I kind of was sitting until recently. It almost felt like Small World, right? And Small World is a card we've had for years, and it's not a bad card, but it's also not had breakaway success. Small World lets you trade in one monster, banish one from the deck, and then get another one as long as some stats kind of line up. But Small World doesn't see that much play. I mean, it's fine, but I would not call it game changing. Now, the big difference here, and there are several, but one of the biggest differences between 7th Tachyon and Small World is that you can Small World reveal a monster, but not a spell, where 7th Tachyon can place any copy of itself or any spell or trap on top of your deck. This means that you don't have to trade a hand trap away. Instead, you can trade away redundant spells. So now 7th Tachyon is a lot better than double Small World. Now, one other upside to 7th Tachyon is that there's a support card that makes it even more consistent. 7th Ascension is a normal spell card released a couple years back in Legendary Duelist, Duels to the Deep, I believe, which takes a card from your deck, either a Bearing Spell Trap, a Rank of Magic Quick Play spell, or a 7th spell or trap, either at your hand or put on top of your deck. And that's cool. That's all you really needed to do. It's just going to get the 7th Ascension. Sorry, it's just going to add the 7th Tachyon from deck to your hand. But okay, now that we've defined the basis that makes 7th Tachyon so important, let's go over a few kind of synergies that you can explore, at least now or in the future for this card. So first I want to go over the 14 extra deck monsters that you can reveal off it, and it'll kind of give you insight into what you can search. It's not as all-encompassing as Small World. It definitely has limitations into what it can get, that it's good and what is bad. Starting us off, we got 101 and C101. So we got rank 4 and 5 waters that are both aqua. Now some of these typings are going to be repetitive. All right, so we got aquas in 4 and 5. Are there any that are important? No, nothing comes to mind immediately, and a lot of these are going to be like almost future. We also have the Seraphs, number 102, which is rank 4 light fairy and rank 5 light fairy for the C102. Rank 5 Light Fairies, of course, where we're getting Artifact Lancia from, and in the OCG they were searching Artifact Scythe with it as well to combo with Detonator. Very good, obviously. But you can also go beyond that and search the Light Barrier statue, or you can be more creative. Just remember, you are either going to do this in a deck that is searching for the card after you summon from the extra deck non-XYZs, or you're going to be summoning XYZs, or you don't plan on summoning from the extra deck, period. Like the Light Barrier statue works, because let's be real, you're searching this either last or in a deck that doesn't summon from the extra deck. Ragna-Zero is going to be kind of redundant. In some cases, it's a rank 4 water fairy, and then the rank 5 is the same thing, but it's level 5. We already have water, already have fairy, so these aren't important, but they can give you some overlap if your deck demands you have both typing and attributing a lot more neater. Next up is Masquerade 104, and this one is a little bit different, where the 104 regular is light spellcaster rank 4. The rank 5 is a dark spellcaster, so you can't search for level 5 lights. You can search for level 5 darks though, which can be weird. Level 5 lights ironically would have been like Evil Hero, Sinister Necrom, but I don't think that ever really would have lined up, given that that's probably not what you want to do when you're locked into XYZs. Still, this is a way of getting level 4 lights or level 4 spellcasters. So the immediate thing that we can think of is YuGiOh monsters. I mean, we already have level 4 light though. This one is more for spellcasters. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but yeah. Moving on, we got the battling boxers. So this is going to be a warrior fire. Fire does mean search YuGiOh cards, although truthfully, I don't know if you need to play this, as playing this means more cards to the extra deck space, and in most times your 7th Tachyon is searching either ice or X, and you are very content with that. You don't need to search sword or node. And then our rank 5 battling boxer presses this forward with warrior fire level 5, rank 5. And then we got the giant hands, which are going to be 106 level 4 rock earth or level 5 rock earth. And lastly, we got 107. So the only non-4 or 5 ones, we got 8 and 9, which is still applicable, and light dragon, which is not that bad. It gives you some flexibility and some cool things. I'm going to go over some of the ones that caught my eye. So another rather intuitive one, and this is what it's kind of designed for, is searching the shark cards off this. So we're looking at my shark deck from a couple months ago, which you can still find on this channel if you want to check it out, as well as on the TierZero website. 7th Tachyon can search pretty much anything. You have a rank 5 water to search Abyss Shark, and you have rank 4 water to search Big Jaws. 101 is a card where you wouldn't typically really play it, but you definitely can. It's not necessarily bad, and you can make it all work just fine. But getting access to Big Jaws and Abyss Shark more consistently does make the deck a lot better, as well as recent support with Hydrojet Shark in Supreme Darkness does give the deck a big revamp, which if you guys want, we can approach again on this channel. If that's something you guys want to see, an updated version of the shark deck, and make sure you comment down below, and it's something that I will get back out to you guys. Moving forward, another very intuitive search for this card is Galaxy Eyes monsters. It's designed for these XYZ era decks. Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, for example, is a very prime target, but you can also search the lower level Galaxy monsters by using the level 4 or rank 4 light monsters like the Star Seraph to get Galaxy Wizard or Photon Jumper, even if you want to stop Tempai decks. Point being, Galaxy Eyes can use the cards very well. Now, one other cool one, it's another XYZ era deck, but it has a tangential component or counterpart to it that is very cool, and that's the Dododos, Gagagas, all those type of monsters. Now, they were recently announced for a brand new wave of support that I'm not sure when we're getting, but that looks quite promising. However, these cards have seen play before, specifically alongside a different deck, and that is Adamancipator. Now, what I'm looking at specifically here is like Adamancipator Analyzer. It can be added from deck to hand off of Revealing Giant Hand, and then can summon out other rock monsters like your Dododo Dwarf, Go Glove. And what's even cooler is the 7th Tachyon places the card on top of your deck. So when you're drawing a heavy engine hand of cards that you don't want to draw, because Adamancipator, for all intents and purposes, is like a mill deck, you put the good mills on top of your deck, and that sets up perfectly your Analyzer without needing the luck. And a big thing with these type of decks that can be kind of annoying is when you draw your good mills, that means there's now also a lower density of good mills left in your deck. So being able to regain that control is pivotal in ensuring these deck successes. Now, obviously, this is the type of deck that would very heavily lean into the XYZ package if you're doing that, so you likely wouldn't play the level 2 Adamancipators because you're not synchroing. But if you're sticking to a very rank 4 centric strategy, then Analyzer can be very good, especially going into your opponent's field, where Analyzer plus a glove is essentially like E-Telly plus summon a monster from hand. That's pretty good if you ask me. Another option is to play 7th Tachyon as an alternative to, or a search card to search your otherwise inconsistent pieces that are finishers. So let's take a look at Archlord Christio, for example. Very powerful card with very few ways to search it. It's been around for 15 years almost, more even actually. Wow, old card. And this card is still a killer to this day. It was one of the best boss monsters of its time. That hasn't changed. If you're able to summon this card consistently, you are in a very good spot because of how powerful it is. The Floodgate effect that adds back a card is also when it dies to the top of your deck, meaning it's going to be a consistent presently threat. And a level 8 light means that the search balls have the Tachyon. Now, if you're trying to set up this card, putting 4 lights in grave by linking and stuff first, then obviously you have the Tachyon afterwards. But because it says for the rest of the turn, you can easily do that and now have access to more Christias. There's also different combo decks that aren't XYZ based that don't require the extra deck. And okay, those are very few and far between, but Monarchs, for example. Another level 8 fairy that's light is Ether, the Heavenly Monarch, which is searchable 7th Tachyon. Ether being one of the biggest and most important cards in this deck. And as you played Monarchs back in the day, you'll know it was prone to bricking, and a big reason why could be because you can't access your powerful tributes all the time. It required you playing cards like Return of the Monarchs to give you any sort of consistency. The 7th Tachyon can also be used to grab other powerful cards. If you're playing a grind game deck that's very trap heavy but not stun, say you're playing just a Bestial stun deck, Bestial Rebellion is another card you can search off this, being a level 8 Light Dragon. That's fantastic. Rebellion is obviously a very good card in grind games. It extremely fits the game plan. And it's not a card where you feel super oppressed to access your extra deck that much, so it's fine. And the deck can still use rank 8s and rank 6s, so it's not like you're locking yourself out of any extra deck plays by using Tachyon. I think it's worth it in a lot of cases. Then obviously, Vanity's Ruler is another good example of back to stun. Let's say we're transitioning over to the Horse monsters now, where it gives you an easy way to slam down a floodgate your opponent will not be able to come back from. And unlike Archlocristia, this will lock out your opponent only. Now, those are just a couple of the options that I've discovered as I look at 7th Tachyon. I think there are a bunch of different possibilities, and if you guys have any cool suggestions for how to use this card, let me hear them in the comments below. Maybe it's something that I can explore as a deck for this channel or on my own in the future. But a reminder, if you guys are interested in picking up this card or anything else new that's coming out in Maze of the Master, pre-sales will be up on our website, TierZero Games. With the code Jesse5, you'll also get 5% off, and that is the best place to get your pre-sales anywhere online.